Hello. 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 Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you. Let's do a quick check. Our dollar cost averaging is happening. We're at 11,200. It's probably closer to 13,000. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, so we have the net deposits. Got it. So we're about 5% up. So $500 increase. Got it. So we're about $10,000. Or I guess it's 11,000. Is that what it is? I don't even know. Okay, so it looks like it's about 11,000. Because of what so close to 11,000. Interesting. So 11 days, and so we've skipped a few. Obviously, it seems like we've missed a few days. Looks like we missed about 4 days there. I can add them up, actually. I don't mind putting them in. But look, things are looking interesting in the market, and I wonder if we're going to follow this trend that we drew out yesterday. I wonder if it's going to happen. It could, and this really comes down to what happens with right now. It looks like what happens in Ukraine. Now it's a certainty that on Monday it's unlikely that they're going to announce, but it's very likely that we get an interest rate hike. Like super likely. I would be shocked if we don't get an interest rate hike. The question now is how much of an interest rate hike. Before it was, are we going to get an interest? Now it's how much of a hike. It is clear that we're getting one. How much? I'm not sure. Is it going to be 0.25? Is it going to be 0.5? We'll have to wait and see, but it's unlikely that they announce it tomorrow because, I mean, on Monday. The reason is if they announce it, it comes off like it's a rushed kind of decision, and that is not what they want to. They don't want that, right? If it comes off like a rushed sort of thing, then then you have issues. Like people will panic. Like it's not it shouldn't be a panic decision, essentially, right? So this is what I suspect will not happen. I don't think we'll get a rush decision tomorrow. What I think we'll get is just a meeting. And it turns out that they have these meetings all the time. So we were tripping out a little bit excessively yesterday, thinking that, this is the end of the world. It's not. So that's that. But here's what's really going to impact the market. Because rates are going up, and we know after rates go up, we see a decline in economic output. It totally makes sense because you can't take out loans and all those sorts of things. There's a Ray Dalio video that explains all this really well. But if Ukraine gets invaded, this is the opportunity you'd be wanting to buy at. This is the opportunity that takes us probably way past this, right? It's probably down to here, at least. I would not doubt us going down. Now, how far? What's the percent? So from where we are right now, that's a 30% decline. That is pretty intense, but I would not be absolutely shocked if we did a 30% decline on that news. Because we're so volatile, right? Like a 37, okay, that's pushing it. And a 40 would be pretty intense, but entirely possible. If we got down to anything below 30%, I would not be too... I wouldn't be too hesitant to drop my entire bag in. And I've said this several times before. The reason is, that way I can stop analyzing the market every day. Like, I don't need to think about it as much. In these cases, I do need to think about the market, and I'm dollar cost averaging every day, and it's kind of a bit of a pain, but, I'm doing it. But, this is the way it is. I think if you were to ask me, is Ukraine going to get invaded? I would say for sure. And let me tell you why I think for sure. Just look at this. This is absurd. This is where all the Russian military is right now. It's along the entire northern border with Belarus. So Russia's had to get special permission from Belarus to put their military inside Belarus. So it's along the entire northern border. It's along the entire eastern border. And now this is as of yesterday, they have these warships, 6 warships down here. You tell me, when a country deploys this much around a country, you think they're just doing it for fun? I don't think so, right? Things are happening, and I trust Russia to be pretty assertive in their actions. And the way it is right now, it's the U.S. can do anything it wants and nobody else. And Russia's basically saying, hold on, buddy, I'm going to do what I feel like and get out of my way. And I know it's not great. Like, I saw a picture of, like, if I type in Russia invasion, Ukraine invasion. It's like, here's a woman, like this. Look at this woman's face. This woman has fear and sadness written on her face. That's not great to see, right? I don't want to see that. Like, that's not great, dude. Like, she's definitely looking into the camera, like, concerned. Right? She's definitely concerned. But I would but I mean, the will of man has no boundaries. I've heard this before. Some really smart person said that, and it's true. Because the will of man is probably what built all the things that we have around us, right? This skyscraper I'm in, this microphone, this phone that's recording, this laptop, and this technology we talk about, Bitcoin. So it's absurd. I would be absolutely surprised if Ukraine does not get invaded. Now let's talk about the history of Russia invading things around that region. This was Georgia in 2008, right? What happened was it's a very similar story to Ukraine. Russia had Russian politicians in Georgia kind of pushing people around. Georgia expelled these people, and then they had some spies in there. Sorry, I need to drink water because I really lose my voice doing this. Russia had some spies in Georgia, and that caused a bunch of issues. So Georgia expelled those spies as well. Russia decides to just go hardcore and absolutely go right in, and they got a separatist movement in there, and now they have a piece of Georgia, right? And that's just the way it is. It's still there. It's like they've had elections and all these things. It's totally normal. Is Georgia still about 20% of Georgia is under Russian military occupation? So it's not the greatest deal, but they got something. And with Crimea, you probably remember this in 2014. Similar story, except similar but not as close as the previous. And they got Crimea. It was relatively quick. Like the job was done. That area was very Russian to start off with, so it wasn't like the biggest. It was it almost seems like an island kind of thing, right? But during this, they also got the easternmost part of Russia, so they got that as well, Russia. And now it would be absolutely shocking if this didn't happen, right? This would be I would be like, what? All of this and you do nothing? It's a huge waste of time. And this is probably the strategy. There was a great video by a former Vox reporter that talks about this invasion. And I think he does it like really, really well. Because like all of these routes, like they just literally go to one place, right? So it's really unbelievable. So I'd be surprised if this doesn't happen. This means that you should be ready for the price of Bitcoin and other assets to dip, right? You should be getting ready for this kind of stuff. So if you bought over here, you should be, like, especially if you bought your bag. If you're dollar cost averaging in, it's not a big deal. Just keep going, because there's no guarantee that Russia does anything, right? It's entirely possible that it doesn't. So I'd continue to DCA. If you don't have anything in the market, I'd hold off. This is not the time to buy things. If you bought your bag, I would sell your bag now and wait on the sidelines, right? Because there's the interest rate hike that's not going to be good, because you can expect leveraged traders to be taken aback a little bit. There's the entire invasion. There's economic output on, we don't know, we have uncertainty. So all of these things are kicking in. I would be careful right now. Now is not the time to buy with your entire bag. Dollar cost average in a tiny amount. Remember, this is not financial advice, it's financial entertainment, but that's what I would do, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging in. Any bags I purchased up here, I'm going to start getting rid of. I bought a single Bitcoin here just for, I think it was like 42K. Yeah, it's like literally right here. So I'm definitely going to get out of that position even more. Maybe own half a Bitcoin for the time being, because I definitely think we're coming down. And this is that trend line that we struggled to get past before. And we did a clean exit before, and I wonder if we're going to come back and test that or go below. And it's very likely that we come back and test these, at least these lows. So this is my current analysis on the market. I think we're going to get an invasion. I think you should be careful, especially with your bags. Now's not the time to go YOLO. And if you have any questions, let me know. Also, dropped that video yesterday about how to store Bitcoin. I think you should check it out. And you know, there's some interesting things here that you should probably also see. Like, we could probably start drawing a new trend line, right? This might be the start of a new trend line, which is actually not good news, because this could also mean that we're in a bear market, essentially. You know what? We're not going to even go there, because it is entirely possible that we don't actually make it back into these yellows and reds for a long time. It's entirely possible that this is the beginning, and we, you know, come down a little bit, and then we go up a little bit, and then come down, and we really hang around here for a while, you know, like just bouncing around here for a while. Like, I mean, a couple of years. It's entirely possible. I wouldn't doubt it. Anyways, this is the update for today. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, and comment. I will see you tomorrow.